What is up, YouTube? It is your boy NMR Sports here, coming back at you with another MLB video, and today we're going to continue our position ranking series with the top 10 third basemen in all of baseball. Before we get into the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below if you want some daily Major League Baseball content. Leave a like on this video to help this video reach more baseball fans. That is the goal of this channel, get talking about baseball. Let me know down in the comments if you disagree or agree with my picks, and also what position we should do next. Now, without further ado, let's get right into the video and jump in to this ranking. Now, here we have a list you say, of all the third basemen in all of baseball last season, ranked by WRC Plus to get an idea of how they were offensively. I do want to say one little caveat here. Kris Bryant is not going to be on this list. I have him as an outfielder. I don't think he's going to play much third base over there in Colorado, barring any injuries to Ryan McMahon. So overall, he is not going to be on this list. Don't expect to see him in my top 10. It also makes it a lot easier for me to rank these guys because there's a lot of good third basemen in baseball right now. So without further ado, let's get into number 10. That is Jeimer Candelario of the Detroit Tigers. Now, Jeimer Candelario, great bat, honestly. And I think he's going to benefit from having a little bit more pop in that lineup this year with Javi Baez there. Spencer Torkelson should be up. And obviously Miguel Cabrera's still back, Jonathan Scope's back. They got some pop in that lineup. It's probably the most pitcher-friendly ballpark in the entire MLB, so I don't expect his power numbers to see a big increase. Did hit 16 home runs, which is very impressive in that ballpark. But yeah, I don't expect him to have crazy power numbers or anything, but very solid across the board. Decent defensively, very solid offensively, and I think he's going to benefit, like I said, from having a better lineup around him this season. Next up at number 9, we got Atlanta Braves third baseman Austin Riley. Now, Austin Riley, don't get me wrong, last year, borderline MVP, but not even borderline, he was an MVP candidate. I believe he was a top 3 or top 5 finisher last year. I just don't know if that's sustainable. That's why I have him at number 9. One of the worst defensive third basemen in all of baseball. I assume he's going to get some DHing under his belt this next season now that they have the DH, but absolutely atrocious offensively. Solid defense, one of the best offensive third basemen in all of baseball, but that defense is just so bad. I really can't overlook that right now. Next up, we got the left-handed Austin Riley, and that is Rafael Devers. Now, Rafael Devers is a little bit better offensively than Austin Riley in my eyes, and he is a little bit worse defensively, so kind of 1A and 1B. We got the right-handed Austin Riley, and then we got the right-handed Austin Riley and the left-handed Rafael Devers. If these guys could combine, they'd be one of the best hitters in MLB history. But they're really good at what they do offensively. They just really subpar on the defensive side. First percentile in outs above average for Rafael Devers, and 7th percentile for Austin Riley. So honestly, these guys are 1A and 1B. I just think Devers' bat is good enough to fill that gap that they have defensively, and he's done it for a little bit longer. So if Austin Riley has a great season this year, definitely going to bump him up next year. But for now, Austin Riley 9, Rafael Devers 8. Next, we got the best defensive third baseman in all of baseball, and that is Matthew Chapman. Now, Matt Chapman, very good defensive shortstop. The offense just isn't there. It hasn't been there for a while now. What did he, 210 batting average last year? I'm not a big batting average fan, but 314 on base percentage isn't getting it done. 27 home runs was pretty decent last year, but other than that, man, he really doesn't do a good job. Crazy 3rd percentile in strikeout percentage. He strikes out a ton. Walks quite a bit as well, so kind of a 3 true outcome guy, but overall, not really the cream of the crop offensively. Hopefully that changes this year in a stacked Blue Jays lineup, one of the best in baseball, possibly the best in baseball. And then, of course, the elite defense at third base is worth it in itself. Coming in at number 6, we've got Justin Turner. Now, Justin Turner, just an amazing bat. One of the reasons the Dodgers have been so successful for so long is because of their depth guys, and Justin Turner is a perfect example of this. Name a season where you went into the season thinking Justin Turner was going to be like a top 5 player in baseball. Never. You never expect, top 10, top 50 production from him, but he always gives you amazing production at the plate, and he's serviceable defensively, 40th percentile and outs above average, so definitely not a nuisance out there. Definitely better defensive third baseman out there, but his offense is so much better than Matt Chapman's. That's why I put him slightly ahead of there. Justin Turner, man, one of the more underrated players in all of baseball. Now, speaking of underrated players, Joshua Donaldson. Do you know how many Yankees fans are pissed off that they acquired this guy? I don't know how Josh Donaldson has turned into one of the most underrated players in baseball, but he hits the ball hard. He's a decent, above average defender at third base. Not the fastest in the world, walks a ton, doesn't strike out a ton, barrels everything up. This man is a stud, and I think he's going to absolutely flourish out there in New York. I think their Yankees are going to be in love with this man by the end of the year. You got yourself a very, very good third baseman. His one caveat, which you're going to see with a few of these guys up here towards the top, is their health. Josh Donaldson has not been able to stay healthy, but honestly, I thought he played a lot less games last year. He was able to put up 135 games at third base last year, which I was very, very surprised to find out. So if he can play 130 plus games for the Yankees this year, I think that they probably are the winners of that trade, because they made a huge upgrade defensively at shortstop with Kiner Falefa, huge upgrade offensively and defensively with Josh Donaldson. Love Gio Urshela, but Josh Donaldson is much better. Josh Donaldson, 5th best third baseman in all of baseball. Now, next up, we got Anaheim Angels third baseman Anthony Rendon. Now, I'm showing you his 2019 numbers because we have not seen a healthy season from Anthony Rendon since 2019. He did play in quite a few games in 2020 and was pretty decent, but his numbers were super down in the dumps last year. He didn't even register enough bats to really qualify for anything. I think he played in, how many? He had 249 plate appearances. Yeah, only played in 58 games last year and was never healthy. He was quoted earlier this spring saying that his hip literally felt like somebody was stabbing him every time he swung the bat, every time he went down for a ground ball. But this offseason, he said he got fully healthy. He got that hip surgery that he needed last season, and he's ready to go. So Anthony Rendon, until he proves me otherwise in a full healthy season, I still got to have him in the top 5. You can call me a homer all you want. That's fine. I'm incredibly biased. I'll probably put Anthony Rendon in the thumbnail. But yeah, still a top 5 talent in all of baseball, or top 5 third baseman in all of baseball for sure. Next up, we got St. Louis Cardinals third baseman Nolan Arenado. Now, Nolan Arenado is on par defensively with Matt Chapman, but definitely a lot better with the bat. And especially with that stacked St. Louis lineup that we saw towards the end of the year last year with Tyler O'Neill out there, Dylan Carlson, Paul Goldschmidt. They got a very, very good group of guys around Nolan Arenado. I will say his game offensively is very one-dimensional. He did not hit a single home run anywhere near center field or right field last season. So as you can see, he's a big pull hitter, but he does put the ball the other way every once in a while. So definitely a much better offensive talent than Matt Chapman, which is why I have him so much higher than him, and 96th percentile and outs above average. Still a Gold Glove caliber third baseman every single year. Now going into the top 2, we got San Diego Padres third baseman Manny Machado. Manny Machado is another one of those really under the radar amazing talents. This dude hits the ball hard like crazy. He doesn't strike out a ton. He does walk a ton, which is really nice, and he's a very, very, very solid third baseman over there. So solid defense, elite hitting. What more could you want? There's only one guy in the league that I think's better than Manny Machado, which we'll get to in just a second. But if the Padres are going to contend this year without Tatis for the first month or so, Manny Machado's going to have to step up big time. So I think we're going to see a lot of production from him this season. And last but not least, the best third baseman in all of baseball, the only guy the Cleveland Guardians handed a contract out to, that is Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez, one of the most underpaid baseball players, one of the most underpaid players in all of baseball. Elite defensively, 94th percentile in outs above average, 77th percentile in sprint speed. I don't think a lot of guys realize that he can run, man. How many stolen bases? 27 stolen bases last year. That is the most underrated part of his game, without a doubt. Everybody knows he can hit. Everybody knows he can field. But my God, this guy can run too. 103 RBIs on a terrible Cleveland Guardians team last year. 36 home runs. Dude's an absolute stud, easily the best third baseman in all of baseball, and it's not relatively close. Like, Manny Machado is good, but Jose Ramirez is on an absolute another level right now. Definitely, I hope he gets his MVP, man. He's deserved an MVP for so long, but he finished runner-up in 2020. I think he was runner-up to Trout one year back in the day. I think 2018 was around the time. Just a guy who's always deserved an MVP but never got one. So Jose Ramirez, #1 third baseman in all of baseball. Let me know what you guys think of my rankings down below in the comments section. Roast me, agree with me, whatever you want to do. I just want to talk some baseball with you guys. Don't forget to leave a like before you click off this video, and hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily MLB content. I'll see you guys all in the next one. You have a great rest of your night.